chat.
Well, I mean,
and,
as you are as well.
Ask all the fun questions, what everybody's got going on, and man, we do have things going on.
Listen, I was out at the library. I don't know, last week one day, and it just makes you happy to walk in there right now.
I'm so glad to hear you say that.
It's just decorated and happy, and
we just have a lot of happy people.
You do. I love it.
And we're just really, just so fortunate to have the kind of employees that we do. That everybody, I mean, they love coming to work every day. They're happy. They're smiling. They love to help people. They want people to come in and leave happy. So, I mean, it's just a really wonderful. A wonderful environment. It really is.
It is, yeah.
I wouldn't change it, for anything. It just is a great place. And programming, we are just rocking the programming.
You are loaded right now.
We are doing so many fun things. Tonight, actually, let me put a little.
Is this the archeologist?
Yeah, let me put
we
a
were
little.
talking about that on Community Matters.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm planning to go. And my husband actually is going as well because it sounds fascinating to me.
Doesn't it though? Yes.
To know, more about the history of who is buried in Indiana and like the peoples who came, before the notable people, you know what I mean, before we actually started tracking things. And so yeah, it's I love it because it says on the little blurb for our calendar, it says that archaeology tells a bigger part of the bigger story of human past.
Yes.
And I always love to walk in the cemetery. That sounds really morbid, doesn't it? I like to walk in the
I think a lot of people are that way.
I do too, and I like to look at the names. Sometimes it's really sad, of course, to see, like the children that passed because, people had so many children because, so many of them died in infancy or young childhood. But it's always interesting to me to put those pieces together. Like, oh, that must have been so-and-so's great-great-grandfather or, just some really interesting. And I love the idea that we can get that we get a story.
Well, and that's,
that.
I wish, and this, again, I guess it's morbid, but, I look at the stones and I'm like, oh, but I wonder about them. Like, I wonder what they did and who they were. It's things that, or they'll have a picture or something on there that intrigues you as to what that was, who they were.
What they did with their lives.
Yes.
And not that, and I think it's really interesting because of that, and really cool in a, interesting way, I guess, that, people, the people who talk about having like past life regressions and all that, I don't know that I believe any of that, but we always hear people will be like, well, I was a princess, or I was, everybody always wants to be somebody fancy and, important. But every time you go to the cemetery, there's just normal, ordinary, common people who lived ordinary, common lives, but made huge impacts simply by being the person that they were.
That's right.
And I think that is part of why I'm so intrigued by the peoples that came before us, because they have history that didn't necessarily make the history book, but
Right.
without those people,
we wouldn't have today's
wouldn't be
world.
where we are.
That's right.
And I just think it's really cool, just so people will understand. Kathy Drager Williams is coming, and she is with the Indiana Department of Natural Resources Division of Historic Preservation and Archaeology. That is a mouthful.
That is a mouthful. It is.
But she loves the fact that everything can connect people through archaeology, and she also loves dirt, which I love dirt as well.
Right.
I like to dig in it. You never know what you're going to find when you're planting flowers or whatever. But she's going to discuss the past groups of people that have lived in Indiana for the past 12,000 years.
That's so cool.
And I think that is just that thought, that idea, that we're all just such a blip, but, we can look back and see what that
absolutely.
that looks like. And so she'll be bringing some artifacts, and she's going to take a little closer look at Greensburg's archaeological history.
Very cool.
So, and that is tonight at 4:00.
Is still room left if someone wants to
There is still some room left, yes, and we would love. And if you, not necessarily only open to adults, if you have children that are interested in this sort of thing, I think maybe grades 3 and up are kind of the right demographic if you want to bring children. But if you have kids, and we all know kids have, particularly diverse interests until they sort of get, in their path in life. And so if you have kids that are interested in that kind of thing, I definitely think that this is something that they would enjoy. We also have a continuing writers group that meets tonight at 5:00. And basically, they, whether you're a debut author or a seasoned author, it's literally a group that gets together. They meet, they talk about their own writings, talk about, they sometimes will critique or discuss others' writings. You can kind of get somebody to sort of put your writing in beta and proof and read, what you've been writing. And so if you want that kind of feedback and you want that kind of camaraderie among other writers, they meet tonight at 5:00. So it's right after the archaeological program. That's a hard word to say.
That is a big word.
It's a hard word.
Yeah.
And we're still doing Walk with the Doc. It has moved. It will be, tonight is still, is still on Wednesday, but we are moving it to a Thursday program, just by virtue of availability.
Schedule.
So kind of look at that and see if you are interested in knowing more. And then we have, that's just kind of a few of the things that are coming up in the next couple of weeks or week or half, something like that. But we also have, we're still doing story time at Westport. That's every Wednesday. We're still doing bingo and donuts. So, look for that in October. We have a fun program on, Thursday, September the 11th from 3:30 to 4:30. They're just building with Legos. And it's amazing, all ages. Under 6 have to be accompanied by a caregiver, no registration, just come in and build with Legos. And it's a lot of fun. We are also starting a new program, and this starts on September the 12th. It's called Get Walk-In, but it's Indiana, like with the Purdue Extension Office. And they will meet weekly at the library to walk together on the Rebecca Park Trail. So we have this program, which is a little bit different than the Walk with the Doc, and maybe we'll hit a different sort of demographic or maybe a different time frame. But I also believe that there's an online component to this as well.
Oh, okay.
So if you're interested in that, walking, we are doing that with the Purdue Extension Office. And if you want to sign up, you can email Christopher Fogel at the Purdue Extension Office or give them a call. And let's see what else. I know we have our very popular Bats and Books coming up. Let me look at.
I don't think, Lori, you've been here since summer reading concluded.
Oh gosh, I guess
I think you were gone on vacation.
I was on vacation. I was on my vacation filled with, if you're familiar with Lemony Snicket, the children's author, the series of unfortunate events.
That's right. It made for a memorable vacation.
It was a memorable vacation. Everyone survived. That's all I've got to say. And then we came home with COVID.
That's right. It was great.
We survived, but
yes.
with some caveats. Summer reading was fantastic. We had a really good participation, both from kids, teens, all from kids, teens, and adults. Everybody seemed very happy with the prizes. We were so excited to just have so many people in the building, and it's always kind of a little bit of a letdown. Not very long this year because we had so many other things planned, but summer reading was very successful, and we really appreciate everyone who participated, people who donated to the program. We all do. The summer reading program is run completely on donation, and it's not in the operating budget at all. And so, it's always nice if we have some of those dollars coming in, for summer reading. And of course, it happens every year.
And you also hosted the mini art show. We
had the mini art show. So much fun, Emily. I of all the things we've done, and we have done some really cool things, watching that art come in and seeing the talent in this community was amazing. So the Tiny Art Show, which we will be doing yearly, is the plan because it was so successful. Mini art show, we gave 6x6 canvas out along with a set of paints, and the only stipulation was that they had to use our canvas and the paints that were given to them. They could mix them, they could do whatever they wanted, but they could also add outside things, so glitter, feathers, anything that they wanted to add in, they could add in. We had some of the most incredible, and some of the like 10 to 12-year-old category, some of their things were just amazing. Some of the adults that turned things in, I would have purchased them, from a wall because they were so good. I wish that unfortunately I didn't come prepared with I'd forgotten that we hadn't really talked about that. I don't have the list of the winners. They were posted on our Facebook page, but we did have a wonderful turnout. We had about 87 people, I think, that came out for the Tiny Art Show open house where we served tiny treats and tiny drinks. So that was a lot of fun to put together.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that'll be something that we'll do for at least for a while because it was so much fun. And
very cool.
We handed out 227 art kits, and we had over 130 turned back in. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but the other part of that we were very interested in is that we put art materials into the hands of people, whether they even brought those back or not. Hopefully someone enjoyed the time and effort that they spent doing their little tiny art. And to us, that's a success, because anytime that you can give people something that might be outside their normal range of activities is a good thing. And so we were happy with the number of art kits that we handed out.
Good. Very good.
And then, we also had the Elvis program.
Yes.
Which was phenomenal.
Sellout crowd.
It was a sellout crowd with a couple of standing room only. He was wonderful.
I was there for the beginning, but I had to miss the performance because it was one of those weekends of everybody had everything going on.
Yeah, it was everything happening.
But I'm just going to say, the excitement of the people coming to watch this show made my heart so happy.
And they were so happy with our hound dog hot dogs and our, the little things that we did. But I will say, if anyone is looking for an Elvis performer for any reason, I would highly recommend Travis Albertson. I'm sort of one of those, I'm always a little skeptical about things.
You never know.
And you never know and I kind of expected it to be sort of cheesy. I just did. You know what I mean? I had never really seen him perform. Lacey had kind of researched him, and some people love that, like, cheesy,
right?
Which is great. But that's kind of what I expected. And instead, what we got was a man who actually sounded significantly like Elvis, because standing in the hallway, you could have listened. It was like turning on the radio or turning on a whatever. He was really good, but he was also very humble. And I think that was sort of, I don't know that was part of his characterization. It's just who he is. So it wasn't cheesy and it wasn't overwhelming. He gave us lots of little tidbits about who Elvis was as a person and, his career and then, and he sang and he had the hip movements, he had the little lip curl. He was really, really good. And I just think everybody left feeling very good about what they had witnessed. And so we had such a wide range of ages as well. Some very young people up to, people that I know are in their 90s. So it was really cool. I'm so happy that we were able to partner with WTRE on that because it wouldn't have happened otherwise. And so it was, and we had the people that came from the south side of Chicago.
Oh,
did you hear that with the lady who won the giveaway that we had? They came from the south side of Chicago. Yeah. I was kind of amazed.
And Lacey did the decorating.
Yes, the decorating was so much fun.
And she knocked that out of the park.
She sure did. What'd she tell me? It was like, she kind of envisioned it like a teen girl's bedroom from the Elvis time, and I thought that was cute because she had pictures up all over the walls and, we had tablecloths that look very 50s, record placemats, and lots of different things. And so it was a lot of fun. We always try. Lacey and I are always talking about the fact that we're always trying to give the absolute best experience you can get. It's not enough for us just to have people come in, listen to Elvis sing. We want it to be a whole experience. And so we try really hard to make all of our programming kind of that whole experience in some way, because we want people to go home and say, I am so glad that I did that, regardless of what it is, whether
That's
it's
right.
book discussion or cooking club or craft programs or visiting performers. We want people to say that was.
And the best part, very rarely is there a charge.
We do not, by choice and by much design, we do not ever charge unless we have to pay a if we have somebody come in and teach a particular skill and they charge, $10 per person, we might charge $5. We always get, but that's maybe once every couple of years. We don't
it's not
do
very
that.
often.
We always have a little donation jar out. If people want to make donations, that's great. It goes directly back into adult programming. But we just, across the board, for all of our programming, we just don't charge. We never, ever want that to be a factor as to whether somebody can attend or not. And so that's why partnerships are always so
best.
important, because we can't always afford to do that on our programming budget. And so, but Lacey and I have gotten particularly good at sussing out the least expensive way of doing almost everything. We do a lot of internet searching.
That's
so that
it's
we
amazing
can-
what you can pull off though. Like
Right.
you just got to do a little research, a little creativity, and bam.
And it sometimes a little makes a big impact.
It
The
does.
pictures that Lacey put on the wall for the Elvis program, we printed in house. It wasn't like we went out and bought all these pictures. We just printed them, but they had that same impact that what it would have had either way. And so we take great pride actually in never charging. And if we do charge, we always make it very well known that if you can't afford to pay that we do have, some sort of a secondary plan for that, because I never, ever want someone to say, I can't go because I can't afford it. The library, by very design, is really the last place in the world where you can go and spend as much time as you want, and no one will ask you to pay for anything.
No.
We're even fine free at this point. So if you keep your books too long, we don't charge you for that either, unless they go lost or missing, and then there's a charge. But if you bring it back, that gets erased from your account. So the library is that place where you can go and everybody's welcome, and we have people that just come in and look at magazines or read the newspaper or.
Well, I was there for a meeting actually, and my nephew was with me, and so I'm just going to go to the kids area, and he would have stayed all day. I mean,
Right.
he was there well over an hour and kept himself busy the entire time.
Right. We have iPads. We have different toys. Of course, we have books. We have different things for all ages, and coloring sheets. And if the crayons aren't out, if you ask somebody, they'll give you some. We try to make it in the teen areas much the same way. Sherry has a lot of things out in the teen area where kids can just come and hang out. And sometimes the library is also one of the safest places that you can be. And the other thing that's really cool is they just built that the little walking trail. I was unaware that this was actually happening, but when they added the extension from the library to Rebecca Park, they also built a sidewalk from the library to the high school.
Oh, nice.
So between Arbor Grove and Pirate Park, there's now a walking path. So kids, because we would have kids come across the field and
Sure.
duck under the fence, and so they have a way to get to the library now. And so, it's a great place if you want to just do homework, or you need to sit somewhere for an hour while mom and dad are busy and can't come pick you up after sports events, or you have practice, but you got to wait till somebody can get there. The library is a really good place to do that because, again, it's a safe place, and it's also, there's no money involved. So it's I don't have, I never have enough good things to say about the library. I mean, people who know me know that I'm forever and always singing the praises of what happens in public libraries. And it's not just ours. I
It's
mean,
everywhere. No, absolutely.
I feel like we do a particularly good job when I go to conferences or I go to meetings and I hear people talk about things and I say, oh, we're doing that. Oh, we did that already. Oh, and I'm always very happy and very pleased with what we are doing. But the simple fact is public libraries across the board are places where people can go and have a place to be.
Absolutely.
So we do have a couple of other little things. We have a Pop-Tart party coming up
I was reading about that.
on Monday.
Yes.
We're going to taste some different Pop-Tarts. We have not only the Pop-Tart brand, but we also have some brands, the off brands from other
Yes.
places. I hear that the Aldi brand is better. I've never
Really?
tried them, but we're going to see. Strawberry milkshake, Boston cream donut, all kinds of different
Listen
ones.
to that.
Plus, this came about in such a silly way, but the first thing was the teens had a Pop-Tart party, and they made this really cute little Pop-Tart pillow.
Okay.
And many of our adults were like, we would have loved to have signed up for that. We want to do that. And so we were like, okay. But in the meantime, there had been this conversation. I put butter on my Pop-Tarts, and I thought everybody put butter on their Pop-Tarts. As it turns out, that's not true. So with this big, long discussion among our workers at work, about coworkers, about who butters their Pop-Tarts, some people thought that sounded super weird. I know who eats them frozen, who eats them.
I was going to say, I'm a cold, like, I don't like my pop.
You don't
if it's
toast
the
yours.
chocolate one, I like it toasted.
Okay.
But only slightly, just enough to get it gooey.
The Pop-Tart connoisseurism, which is not a word, but the people have this. There's this whole thing about how people eat Pop-Tarts. And so we went to a program one night, and it was right after we'd had this conversation, and I was like, okay, listen, I'm going to take a poll. How many of you butter your Pop-Tarts? Well, that started again, a whole conversation. And 2 or 3 people were like, well, you had that Pop-Tart program for the teens. We wanted to do that. So Lacey and I were like, fine, we're going to put that on.
I love
So
this.
on Monday, if you're interested, you can sign up. We're going to do Pop-Tart tasting. Yes, there will be butter, just so you can give it a shot. And then we are making the little Pop-Tart pillow, which is stinking adorable.
That's so
made out
fun.
of felt. You'll be able to ice it and add your sprinkles.
And see, icing's a whole nother thing.
Yes.
Like, I don't like my strawberry ones with icing. I like them plain.
Oh, I love the strawberry icing. So what's your favorite flavor? If you had any...
And I don't eat them very often. And growing up, that was like
I know.
my jam, right?
And I love them still. but-
I'm only a two type Pop-Tarter.
Okay.
It's just either the chocolate fudge one
okay, with icing.
Gotcha. Or the strawberry, no icing.
icing.
The chocolate one, I like it warm, but not super
Strawberry.
toasted. Strawberry, just
right out of the package.
Out of the package.
No butter on either one.
No, and I don't eat the crusty part around the edge.
Oh my goodness, that's the best part.
I know. It's funny when you start talking Pop-Tarts, though,
It
right?
is. People have a very definitive answer when
Now,
you say,
you're a butterer.
I'm a butterer. Have been since I was a kid. I don't know how that happened. I mean, that was back in the day before there was even
Well,
icing
my mom
on
is
them.
a butterer, too.
Is she? Okay.
So I think that...
I want people to call in.
I know.
I want
you
people
can
to
call us.
in and tell us.
812-663-8733.
Do you butter your Pop-Tart? Do you not butter your Pop-Tart? So I will eat any Pop-Tart.
Okay.
I've never tried like the blueberry. Of the ones I've tried, I would
Okay.
be okay with. But my favorite are the brown sugar cinnamon, warmed in the toaster with butter, and then I love the cherry with icing.
Okay.
Also warmed up and buttered. Now, on a day when I'll eat them right out of the package with no problem. But I sound like I eat Pop-Tarts all the time, and that is unfortunately not true. I would
Right.
love to. They're just I don't know if that's
This is the best discussion. I love it.
I don't know if that's is it generational? I mean, kids still eat Pop-Tarts, right?
Oh, I think they still eat Pop-Tarts. I
Because-
think as you get older, though, you learn Pop-Tarts are not as healthy as you thought they were as a kid.
Yeah, they have fruit in them.
They have fruit in them. And, growing up, my mom said you just have to have something in your stomach going to school,
exactly,
right?
and that's what you had.
So that's what you had. But I think, we kind of maybe grow out of the Pop-Tart era. But
And then we have the whole other issue of toaster strudels.
And see, I am not a strudler at all.
I am not either.
No.
But that is another, when you talk Pop-Tarts, you'll hear people say, well, have you ever thought about changing to, toaster
I
strudel?
feel like there's got to be someone that gives a talk on Pop-Tarts. Like,
well, there is a documentary.
I have heard that. I have not seen it.
It's called Unfrosted. I haven't seen it yet, mostly because I forget about it whenever I'm at home, and I'm like, I just want to watch something. I never think about it, but I hear it's really fascinating, and so I'm interested to see that. But yeah, maybe we should get like the history of Pop-Tarts, because were they invented by the K company?
I would think so, right? Well,
I mean, I know they were. I know that company has been.
They've prominently had them, right?
Yes, and then they also, but I think they've merged, and that actually is still starts with a K. I don't remember what that one is, but I don't know whether we should
it's
promote.
Okay. We're not paid by the Pop-Tarters.
We are not paid by Pop-Tarts.
Oh, look. Okay. We got somebody calling, so we got to switch it over here. Lori, put your headset on. Stay right there with us. We got to get you plugged in as we have this Pop-Tart discussion, because it's important to know what the world's doing with Pop-Tarts, right?
I agree.
All right. Let's see here. Good morning. You're on WTRE.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Rhonda Wood, and I have a funny Pop-Tart story.
Oh, let's hear it, Rhonda.
At work, I was in charge of our snack bar. So I always try to save money, buy the deals, cheaper, couponing stuff so we can make a little bit extra money. And I thought it would be a good idea to buy a generic off-brand of Pop-Tarts that were on sale for like half the price of the Pop-Tart brand.
This is where I would have had a meltdown as a child, Rhonda. I'm just calling myself out.
Well, I'm telling you, it was within 2 days. A couple of my coworkers, they got a little aggressively turned on me. Couldn't believe, what was I doing? Nobody's going to eat those. Those are nasty, and I was like, oh my gosh, people really take their Pop-Tarts seriously. And it was just kind of funny how all these adults in my office, they were upset over the Pop-Tart switch.
How dare you?
It's a serious situation. Now, did you find that one type of Pop-Tart sold better than another kind of Pop-Tart?
Everyone liked this, the cinnamon that you were talking about.
The brown sugar cinnamon.
Mm-hmm. And the strawberry. And then they're kind of hard to find, but at one point there was a wild berry.
Yes.
Right? That was real popular. And then everyone in my office liked icing on their Pop-Tarts.
Okay.
See, I think I'm the oddity with that one, but that's okay.
I think everybody gets to choose their own
right.
Pop-Tart experience. Rhonda, is there a particular Pop-Tart that you like?
Well, I love them. And with being more serious with my diet and diabetes and the sugar thing, I have found a Pop-Tart mimic sugar-free at Walmart.
No.
Over by the pharmacy. They're a little thicker and they're a little more cakier.
Seriously.
They look like Pop-Tarts. They taste like Pop-Tarts, and they're iced.
I think you have just done the world a wonderful service.
I think so too.
I don't know that anyone knows that.
They're a little more pricier, but when I want a Pop-Tart, it's very satisfying.
It's just
perfect sugar.
Awesome to know.
So,
Now I'm going to have to check sugar-free Pop-Tarts.
Yes. I love it.
Pop-Tart knockoffs.
Yeah, I'm driving to work and I'm cracking up because this Pop-Tart thing is really serious to me.
The Pop-Tart thing is serious.
The car's like, oh yeah, I know. I've experienced the seriousness.
Yes, it is serious. Now I have to ask you, are you a butterer or not a butterer?
No, and I'd actually never heard of that.
See, that's what I kept hearing. Like, people were like, are you kidding? Why would you do that? Now, so I'm going to challenge you. Next time you have one of your knockoff Pop-Tarts, you put a little butter on one, or on one corner, whatever, and just try it. See what you think, because it gives it a whole different experience.
Yeah, I will try it.
Okay, and then stop by the library and give me a report.
All right.
Or call me.
All right. Thanks, ladies. It's been a fun morning.
Thank you for your story.
All right. Bye.
Have a good day. Bye.
You too. Bye.
I love
That's
that.
why, if you're out there listening, we would love to know about your Pop-Tarts.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is an important thing. I think I'll throw something up on Facebook after a while, too.
Oh, that'll be
We'll kind of do a little
fun.
poll, see what we find out about Pop-Tarts.
You put that up and we'll share it.
Yes.
And we'll see what we get. But
it's serious business.
People are pretty opinionated. They're very dedicated. That's the word I'll
Dedicated
use.
to
Very
their Pop-Tarts.
dedicated to the Pop-Tarts that
Here's
they
the
love.
William Bill Post is widely credited with the invention of the Pop-Tart. It was considered a collaborative effort. Post led the team at Keebler Foods plant that developed the shelf-stable toaster pastry, which Kellogg's had an idea for. In 4 months, a Post team created the product, leading to Pop-Tart's launch in 1964.
1964. I'm always amazed when I find out that products that I remember from my childhood were actually invented after I was born.
Well, it happens.
It's kind of a rude
rude
shock,
awakening.
a little bit. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
what? They've been around since but 1964. Okay.
I'm curious now because my mom's parents, like my grandma, was very much cooked and made breakfast and that. So I'm curious, growing up, if my mom had Pop-Tarts because she still eats them to this day, and we had them. So now I'm
Right.
curious to know.
Well,
I never asked that question.
In the 60s, I think a lot of women went to work.
That's
and
true.
a lot of, I mean, I think if you look, you know, we kind of talk about this Pop-Tart thing sort of, I'm going to take off my headset. I can't stand listening to myself talk. When we look at how the world changed and we had, everybody baked their own bread, and then Wonder Bread came out. You know, we ended up with bread that you could purchase at the store.
Yes.
And it was marketed as a health food, basically. Like, this is healthy, enriched with vitamins and niacin and, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And I think I would imagine that was also the way Pop-Tarts were marketed. So it was a healthy alternative to having to create this breakfast. Your kids would eat it.
That's true.
On their way to school. If mom's going back to work. So, there's not time for, the hot breakfast that she made, that kind of thing. So I think that there's a lot. I think if we looked at it from a very, like a research-based project,
Yes.
we would find that those products were invented for those kinds of reasons.
So there's so much more to come on Pop-Tarts.
I think maybe there's a whole something here, and I don't even know
right.
exactly what, but I'm interested to know that it was Post. Didn't take them very long to do it, but I also am trying to think what that first marketing must have looked like. And I'm going to go back and see if I
that's
can
true.
find, a box of Pop-Tarts from the 60s. Because I feel like and I wonder what the first flavor was.
Well,
I'm going to go fruit. I'm going to go strawberry.
Yeah. I remember, I don't know when the chocolate came out, but that was like...
Those, yeah.
That was
all
like
of those other flavors.
came along.
I think brown sugar cinnamon came out maybe when I was even in high school.
Listen, no. First Pop-Tart flavors introduced in 1964 were strawberry, blueberry, brown sugar cinnamon,
Really?
and apple currant.
Okay. I'm surprised there was anything, but
And-
I guess cinnamon toast was probably a big thing.
And the initial versions were unfrosted. The addition of frosting and sprinkles to the product came starting in 1967 and 1968.
Okay.
We've learned so
Very
much today.
interesting. Oh, this is my favorite way
To
to
learn.
learn things, and then to think about them in a deeper way.
The apple currant in present day is apple berry.
Okay.
So-
Well, because currants are probably something that most people don't really know. Like, I mean, it is a fruit.
Right,
So
but
it's
not- it's
kind
not
of a berry,
popular.
but it's
Yeah.
not something people, so berry makes a lot more sense. Very interesting.
So that's Monday.
This is almost as interesting. No, actually, it's even more interesting than the Oreo. We did this with Oreos one time,
yeah.
which was also very interesting. So yes, this program is on Monday, and we're going to talk about Pop-Tarts. Obviously, we're going to try a bunch of different flavors, both the name brand and then the off brands. We'll see what those are like, because I keep hearing from people, oh, you should try the Aldi brand. So we'll see. And then we're also making this cute little no-sew pillow. It's all hot glued. It's
So fun.
absolutely adorable. And I just think it's one of those programs where if you don't walk away learning a little bit and then also laughing a little bit about the sort of ludicrousness of a Pop-Tart program where grown adults come and eat Pop-Tarts and make a pillow. I mean, who would have thought, right?
That's right.
But people are very interested, and I think that's wonderful.
I was glad to hear from Rhonda because I was one of those kids that I thought if it wasn't the Pop-Tart brand, it wasn't going to be good.
Right.
And so I'm glad to hear from Rhonda that her people at work had the same feelings.
But again, I think that is a wonderful marketing
Yes.
team. I think the marketing team of brand names. They're genius.
They are
and,
genius.
that's how that works.
But in the taste testing, you're going to have different brands, right?
Yes.
So
different brands,
okay.
different flavors. So I think we'll have if we have strawberry, we'll have it in a couple of different brands. Let me just real quick. I just want to put one. I just want to get people to put it on their the Halloween program. Oh, we also the bookmobile will be in the fall festival parade. So we will be handing out some little lollipops and getting excited about coming to the library. I want to find out the date of Bats and Books for you real quick, because I feel like that's a popular one. Because it's a week early this year. That's what I wanted to find out. Bats and Books, which is, you dress up in your little costumes. The whole family can dress, play games, have snacks. I do believe that there's going to be... I think there's going to be a bounce house. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure there will be a spooky room. And that is on October the 17th, and it starts at 6 o'clock and runs through 7:30. So you can come anytime during that period. But, make sure you come early enough to enjoy all of the activities. Yeah. And so that is coming up in October. And of course, we've got, our Santa Day will be coming up, and we'll be, having some different things between now and then. But that one's a big one coming up in October. So mark your calendars for that. I hope that you've learned a lot about Pop-Tarts today.
That's right. Listen.
A little bit about the library. And 812-663-2826, greensburglibrary.org. If you are interested in knowing what's coming up every month, we do have a newsletter. You can sign up for our newsletter on the website. We have posters in-house. We send posters out to lots of different locations in the community. And so... come and see us, or give us a call. Give us a call and say, hey, what's your next adult program? Or I have a 7-year-old grandson. What would he like to do? Or
there is something for everyone.
There is absolutely always something for everyone.
All right. Well, listen, we're going out with the Pop-Tart commercial. I believe this is the first one, I think. So here we go. Get ready. Here it is.
2, 1, Pop-Tarts, new from Kellogg's.
You can eat 'em on the run, eat 'em just for fun.
Eat 'em when you have a party, yeah.
When you want a snack, you can eat 'em from the pack. Or warm and tasty, good and hearty.
Strawberry, blueberry, brown sugar cinnamon, appleberry, and brand new Concord grape and raspberry apple.
New from Kellogg's Pop-Tarts.
Oh my gosh.
There it was.
Awesome.
How fun was that?
I loved it. Eat them on the run.
That's right. All right. Monday's the Pop-Tart program.
So sign up.
All right. It's 9:06. Tree Country. Lori, thanks so much for being in this morning.
Thank you.